By this point, you know the drill. Before I get started in the garden, I need to look around first, because otherwise I'm gonna get distracted as I'm working if I notice something that I haven't before. So last week I worked on the main garden. That looks a lot cleaner. And today I'm gonna focus on probably on the orchard side of Serendipity. But first I wanna show you the banana plant. Look how beautiful it looks. It's definitely flowering. That's what it looks like from above. And you can start to see that really beautiful purple color coming through. The flower itself is more of like a burgundy color. It's so beautiful. It's very like elegant looking. So we're gonna get a rack of bananas soon. And then everything else is just looking really gorgeous. This is the James Galway rose that I planted as a bare root like I think maybe 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, something like that. And it is looking rather beautiful. The canes are all the way up there on the trellis, but I just need to come through and probably prune back this loofah. I've just been waiting for the rest of the loofahs to finish drying up. That way I can use them to make body scrubs. I want to be able to use them for the dishes, but also like loofahs. I want to use it for like a body loofah, but I want to sew up the sides like I saw Brie Ellis do because it looks so cute. This is a little section of the container garden, and the eggplant is starting to produce. Look at the babies. They're so cute. What variety is this? Because I know that this variety doesn't get much bigger than this, so I might have to come through and harvest them soon. And then these, I was really excited about. Oh, it looks like they're starting to flower barely. These are chickpeas. And the reason that I planted those, I planted them from store-bought chickpeas is because at Food City they sell green garbanzos and they taste so good. They remind me of edamame, but they have a slightly different flavor and texture, and it's just like the green chickpeas. And they taste so good whenever you like roast them and add a little bit of butter, salt, and pepper. Or chile. Oh, it just tastes so good. This is another section of the container garden, which looks very messy because like I said before, I didn't know if the tomatoes were going to be determinate or indeterminate. And some of these are kind of starting to flop all over the place, and you can see the clusters of tomatoes right there. So I need to come through and trellis these again because they're growing far too quickly for the makeshift trellis that I set up, as you can see. This tomatillo plant, I'm gonna let it do its thing because it's probably gonna pop up again on its own, and I'm just gonna see what happens. Behind it, the Santa Rosa plum finally went to sleep. Even last week, it still had leaves on it, but it's gonna wake up soon again. I don't know if we'll get any fruit this year because this was a new planting, but I'm just happy to see that it's still alive, and hopefully it stays alive all summer. And you can see how tall it's gotten. The leeks are looking beautiful. They're starting to thicken up. Oh my gosh, look at that. So nice. This Florida Prince peach is definitely gonna flower soon because you can see all the buds starting to swell up right there. They're starting to break dormancy, and soon it's gonna be covered in pink blooms. It's gonna look gorgeous. This one is a Pakistan mulberry, and this one still has not gone to sleep. It dropped some of its leaves, but not all of them, and I haven't gotten fruit from it yet, but hopefully I do this year. And like, if you look right there, and if you look right there, it looks like it's already breaking dormancy, so it's probably not going to go to sleep fully. The potatoes are looking great. There's more leeks. And then the apple trees also did not go to sleep this year. They kept all their leaves. So I don't know if we'll get any apples this year. But that's fine because the tree is so small. It still needs to grow quite a bit. So I'm just going to let it. And then the citrus. Oh, the citrus is something I've been looking forward to because there's flower clusters starting to form. And this is the citrus tree that I rescued from my mother-in-law's house. And I root pruned it heavily. I pruned all the branches very heavily. And as you can see, it has a lot of new growth. And it's going to be blooming in the next few weeks. And if you have any citrus in your yard, the blooms smell so beautiful. It's one of my favorite scents ever, just coming out here and smelling all the citrus, especially in Citrus Lane where there's so many in one spot. The smell is just like, it envelops you. This is another apple tree that also didn't go dormant this year. This is a pink variegated Eureka Lemon, and it's starting to bloom as well. You can see all the clusters, how cute. Come on, focus. You can start to see all those beautiful clusters, and the bloom on this one is really nice because it's got more of a pinkish tone to it. All the other blooms that I see are mainly white. This is the ruby red grapefruit. I haven't harvested the grapefruit yet. I don't know if they're ready, but it smells really good. This thing flopping over is a pigeon pea tree. I planted it from seed and it hasn't produced yet, but it's gotten quite tall. I just need to trellis it a little bit better. And then this is the improved Meyer Lemon tree. Look at all those clusters. This tree, I feel like this year is gonna outperform every other year that it's been in the garden. And I'm so here for it because this one has done wonderfully so far. Wonderfully. This one is the Cara. This is a Cara orange. And I don't see any blooms yet, but they should be popping up in no time. Oh, there's a little bee right there. It looks like it's resting. Come on. Oh no, it left. Okay, that's fine. This one is this is a Moro blood orange. Look how tall it's gotten. And this one has not bloomed yet, and it's also not fruited yet since it's been planted, but I heard that this variety sometimes takes a while, so hopefully this year's the year. But even if it doesn't bloom yet, I'm not mad about it because look how beautiful it is. This one is also huge. It's just as tall as the Moro blood orange, but this one is a Valencia orange, and it's got 2 fruit on it. But I don't see any blooms yet, so some of the trees take a little bit longer. Over on this side, this is my Mexican cream guava. Last year, I got to try some of the fruit. It was amazing, and it should fruit a little bit more this year, hopefully. I see a lot of new growth starting to push through, so that's a good thing. And then next to it is my burgundy plum, which I think might be starting to break dormancy soon too. And then here's an update on Federico. Look at it. You can't really tell as much because there's a lot of like peas in the way, but you can see portions of Frederick over here. Oh, some of the leaves are missing though. Maybe that means that one caterpillar is around. Yeah, because a lot of the leaves look like they're gone. There's like this spiky looking caterpillar that feeds off of the passion fruit. And I think that's one of the only plants that it can survive on. So it's probably around here somewhere, but that's fine. I feel like for the most part, it's still alive, so that the vine should do just fine as soon as it starts warming up a little bit more. And then what is this? Oh, what is that plant? Why is it that color, and where did it come from? Is it one of these? Why is it all white? These are fava beans, so maybe that's what that is, but why is it all white? Okay, and then this is one of my worm bins. I need to refill it. Maybe I'll do that today. But look at the loofah. There's one dangling down right there. I definitely need to clean up this trellis and replant it with warm weather crops like Armenian cucumbers and more loofah. But these are definitely ready to come down because the rest of the vine is dead. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, and then these are some of the other roses that I have in the garden. This is a Lady of Shalott Rose from David Austin as well. But I need to trellis them because, as you can see, the canes are starting to go a little bit crazy. The original plan was to add an arch trellis right there and then trellis them that way. And who knows, maybe I will still do that because I like to soften straight edges with curves, but and I have the roses on this side and on this side, but I'm not sure yet because I don't have the potting bench in this area anymore. And the reason I moved it is because it looked really pretty and I liked having the garden in the background. But the one thing that I didn't like about having it here is that because it wasn't up against the wall or anything, whenever we had really crazy storms, it would blow everything off of it. So I had to move it and I placed it in the main garden. So I had to move it and I placed it in the main garden, and I like the way it looks because I can stare at it from my window and don't mind the tripods in front of it, but I think it just looks so pretty right here. It's very whimsical. And I like the fact that it kind of draws the eye to the bench versus the wall. So I like that. Eventually, my plan is to purchase a little round table for the center of the main garden and have it there because then I'm going to be surrounded by all the roses, all of the grapevines, and I can come out here to drink my chai or maybe write in my journal, and maybe once in a while I can even bring my computer out here and edit or something. Who knows, but I think I've been planning that since last year and I just haven't gotten around to it. So this year, by the end of the year, that's one of the things that I want to do is buy a little table for that section. Oh, and let me show you some more of the containers. I have a lot of these smaller containers spread throughout the edges of the garden. For a while there, I had it completely empty and that gave me a lot more walking room, but I don't need so much walking room. It does, I mean, it's nice, but I feel like I would rather grow more food than have like an extra foot of space. So I bought these smaller containers at Lowe's, and I haven't been to Lowe's lately, but I'm gonna go around now because around the springtime they bring out packs of containers, and I bought those in a 5-pack for like 35 bucks, I think. But they work really well for a variety of plants. I have a lot of like herbs in them. I had a lot of peppers last year, and some of you guys were recommending to have the peppers planted a little bit closer together so that their leaves are touching, or like their little arms are touching, and I'm gonna do that. I just need to pick up more of them. But look, this one's even growing some borage in there. It's crazy. It's nice. And then these are what the tomatoes look like right now. They were going crazy before. Now they're just ridiculous, like how wild this is. I pruned them back once, like a few weeks ago, and then I didn't touch them after that. And now that it's been warming up, I just see flowers everywhere and fruit. I've been coming out here to harvest a few fruit once in a while. And like, this is the view from this side. You can't even see the trellises anymore. But the fact that they're holding up this much tomato is insane because these get really, really heavy. And I think I've mentioned this before, but these trellises are from Gardener's Supply Company. I've actually been trying them out for a really long time. I hadn't really mentioned them to you guys yet because I wanted to see how they performed in containers and in garden beds. I personally like them better for the garden beds because it's easier to prune around them. I used to have them set up in these containers, like this one, this 25 gallon where I have the leeks, this other 25 gallon right in the center, and this 25 gallon right here. And it fit perfectly in a 25 gallon container. But the only issue that I ran into is that the containers are right next to the cinder block wall. So I was able to prune this area right here, but then because the wall's in the way, I couldn't get all the way around the trellises, and I had tomatoes that were out of reach, and I didn't really like that. And it was also a little bit more difficult to prune because I have more containers in front of that. So reaching over and getting to every single little area was a bit more difficult for me. And now that they're in the garden bed, it's just way simpler. I can access them from every single angle, and I like that. And you would think that they wouldn't hold up quite as good, but they hold up fantastic. They're super, super sturdy, and I just stake them into the ground. But anyways, and they're really tall too, so that helps out quite a bit to hold up all these tomato vines, because this stuff is really heavy and the trellises are doing just fine. This year, I think I'm gonna pick up another 3 so that I can add them to other garden beds, because I like growing a lot of tomatoes. That's one of the veggies that I use quite a bit in the kitchen. And I mean, you can see some of the other trellises that I've used, and some of them, just don't hold up. Like these bamboo stakes right here, which you can already see leaning over. The tomatoes flop over very, very frequently. And so I'm constantly coming out here and like, look at all the tangled string that I have. But I have to do that to keep them upright. Otherwise they just don't stay. Another way that I trellis them that I really do like is these Arch Trellises. These I made using the remesh panels. I just crossed them over the top and they've held pretty good. They're really nice and sturdy, and you can see all of the vines and clusters over on this side. They're holding up fantastic. But the difference is that everything over here I haven't tied back at all. The ones over here I have to come over and tie them back every few weeks, and that's really the main difference. But I like using the two in the garden. So I don't know, I guess that's a little update for now. And now that I've looked around and seen how everything's growing, I think it's time for me to get started. Wait, this one's starting to separate. I need to harvest it. Change of plans. Before I start working, I'm gonna go through and just harvest a few things. How about that? I haven't harvested anything. I haven't filmed the harvest video since last year, so I think this will be nice. But first I need to go get the harvest basket that I purchased a few weeks ago for this specific reason. Dun 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 dun. Okay, so I saw this on TikTok last year. Somebody was doing like a little Christmas haul. Hold on.